All right, everybody, to get started off, whenever coach is ready, we'll start off with Kent. But if you do have a question, go ahead and raise your hand for me, and I'll call on you next. Thank you.
The mic is hot.
Okay, everybody, I have Lay with me. We'll start with questions from Kent. Kent, go ahead. Kent, are you speaking? You might be on mute.
Yeah, well, it happens once a week. Can you just talk about how you guys kind of reasserted control of the game down the stretch of the third quarter after LA had kind of I think they cut it to single digits?
How we got the game back? Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, they're a good team. They go and run, so it's just us settling, taking care of the ball, getting to the spots we wanted to go because they weren't, doing a good job of scoring in our half-court offense. So they're a good team. I mean, you've seen Indy's won their last 3 games, so it's just not going to be easy. So it's just getting back to what we wanted to do: settle down, take care of the ball, and get shots on goal.
7 straight now heading into the break. Where is the confidence level of this team, and is there a little bit of kind of hope, wishing that you could keep playing instead of taking a month off?
No, it's very grateful for the break. At least I speak for myself. Can't speak for everybody else. But with a team that's had so many injuries, I think we're really looking forward to, having that break and getting some people back. Obviously, like Crystal and everybody, Natalie and AP. So we're looking forward to the break and, having some rest time. Having the chance to work on skill development, get stronger, get some practice in, get some practice guys. So I think the break is good. We're just glad we ended on a really good note with some really positive energy.
Doug, go ahead.
Hey, Leja. Here's 2 things. What are you doing for the break?
Going home to be with my family. I'm going to use my coffee maker. I'm going to go grocery shopping. Just going to walk to the park. Some do very basic, life things.
Nice. Good choice of things to do. This team, I mean, you guys have been on such a roll lately. I mean, 7 straight and really kind of what people expect this team could do this year. What has made this team so good in the last 3 weeks that everything seems to be clicking for the most part?
I think all the pieces have just worked together. So we've had games where, K-Mac goes off. We had a game where it still goes off. I think we found the balance of how to win games, when we're all kind of clicking on the cylinders. That doesn't necessarily mean the scoring. We still have games where certain players, are going to put up different numbers. But I think we're finally gelling and meshing. In the last game in Vegas, K-Mac's yelling at me like, move. And there's still so much things we're learning with chemistry. So I think that's what you're seeing is the chemistry is finally starting to show through. And that's what's been nice because I wasn't at training camp. K-Mac was barely there. Still a lot of people have been missing. So we've finally got a chance to play and get a little bit of practice together.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go Danny, then Jack. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Lay, how are you? Good. I was wondering if you could talk a bit about the physicality of the game that the Lynx have been playing lately. I was wondering if you could talk about just how physical the Lynx have been playing, especially Fee tonight really played really, really tough in the paint. I
mean, you're talking to the person who loves to bully people. So. Yeah, Fee was getting in there today. I think we have a lot of people who can do that different positions. Sil can do it, Fee can do it, I can do it at the point guard position. So anytime we can get Fee going with someone smaller on her, if she's got a 4 in her, she can usually take them to the basket. If she's got a 3, she can kind of bury them or shoot over them. So I think that's to Fee's strength. She's that kind of Swiss Army knife that can do a little bit of everything. And it was good to see her get going. At some point, I think we just cleared the floor and we're like, you got it, Fee, go to work. And she was just getting buckets.
Thanks so much.
Jack, go ahead.
Hey, Leja, just between now and when you first arrived in Minnesota, where do you think the team has made the most palpable improvement, and what do you think has driven it?
Ooh, I think it's been one of the things has been our trust in each other, which is kind of an intangible thing. You can't measure it, and just learning how to play together. Like I said to Doug, building that chemistry, learning when I go help, I got to trust that you're going to have my back, because otherwise we all play on an island. And you could see some of that at times where we're like, I don't know, like we haven't really been playing together. Do I really trust that this person's going to have my back? And I think that to me, especially as the point guard position, has stuck out a lot. And then the way we've won games that we've been up or down in has been that trust of like, hey, we can be down, we can come back and get it. I'm going to trust that, we can get a stop in the last 2 minutes of a game. I'm sure there's some statistically, but I don't have that right now.
Yeah, and then just kind of to go off that trust that you're talking about, you guys had 26 assists on 33 made field goals, and you guys are averaging almost 25 assists on the win streak. Just what is it like to be part of a team that's just in such an offensive rhythm, sharing and scoring the ball?
It's so fun. It's really fun, and especially as a point guard who I just felt like in the Vegas game, I was literally just like, you get one, you're open. And when you set people up for shots, the shots are better. So like, I don't want to play in the one-on-one system where we have to grind it out. LA made us do that a little bit at times because their pressure is so much, but the fact that we can like create easy shots for each other, I think that's the beautiful basketball we want to play, where you can cut, where you can backdoor and they help, and then I skip it to someone for three. I think that's what you really see with this team, who has the ability to space the floor with like a Dantis, but then go inside with a fee, with a sill and a fee. So.
And do you think that balance kind of that you guys have found between the inside game, the outside game, and then specifically with you and Fee in the mid-range, like, do you think that also is just a byproduct of that trust that has been growing amongst you guys, or is that just kind of a getting to know each other?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I would say, the trust and the chemistry, how to play together. And you have to have trust of like when it's your time to take the shot, right? And when it's your time to pass the ball, and that's all in trust of like, if I come off a ball screen and take a quick shot, people trusting that like that's my shot and I'm going to make it. If K-Mac fires a quick three, and trusting like that's her shot, or I can be like, hey, that's too quick in the shot clock. Like, let's make sure we get a better shot in some time. That's all coming down to trust and communication and chemistry, which you just build, over time.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any last questions for Lay?
Come on, Jackie, nothing? Wow. Bye.
Right, thanks, guys.
Bye, Lay.
All right, everybody, I have Coach coming in. We'll start with questions from Kent. Kent, go ahead.
So many stats tonight show just how balanced you guys have become. The assist totals, the number of people who are getting key baskets. Lay was just talking about how you guys have really gotten to a point in your chemistry where things are just clicking. Can you just talk about that, about where you guys are at now that you've won 7 games and the things that you're doing, especially on the offensive end?
I think that's, well said by Lay, that you can feel the chemistry. You can feel the resiliency, when things aren't going our way. That's when I really notice it's fine when you've got a lead and your shots are falling, but what happens when, officiating is bad and that's not going your way? What happens when the shots aren't falling, they make a run? I think, we're doing a pretty good job of understanding how to stop teams' runs and how to settle back in. I do think the balance has been really important. I thought, Bridget's minutes in the first half in particular, she bailed us out a couple times. I knew this would be a hard game for Lay and for Rachel, in that, we count so heavily on them to play make, and LA's physical defense, was going to be a challenge. So it was a hard physical game for those two. But yeah, I mean, going back to the original question, we've built that. And I don't think you get that without going through hard times first. We always say sometimes you got to fail before you get to the other side and get to the good stuff. And so for us, as we know, coming out of the gates, we weren't a very good team. We grew into it, out of necessity. And there became a sense of urgency about what we were doing. We had to stop the bleeding. We were 0-4. And, and then we've sort of hit our stride.
Talk about Collier's game in particular, how she seemed to score when you needed it the most. LA kind of made a run there from the second quarter into the third. I think it was still an 8-point game when you finished the third strong, and she was like right in the middle of all that. Just about that.
I knew that we were going to need Fee as another ball handler. So after Leisure, Fee's our best ball handler in terms of being able to go somewhere and make a play against a defender. And so we kept trying to get her in those isolated situations and let her play, take the pressure off of our lead guards, having to do those things. And Despite I don't understand. I guess we'll have to spend some time studying, what fouls are, what are not fouls. But I think Fee gets fouled probably more than any player in the league, and it goes uncalled. When you look at the way, some other players get these little touch fouls. So it's very confusing for a player like Fee. But she was successful anyway.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go with Jackie. Jackie, go ahead.
Hey, Coach Reeve, it's Jackie Powell. Good to see you. I'm going to diverge from the game for just a moment, if that's okay. Because we've got All-Star coming up, and now you don't have any games to focus on. So I'm curious if you can speak on how the All-Star game, meaning a little bit more for the players this year, is better for the WNBA. And how do you think the league can capitalize on this going forward, even if there isn't an Olympics upcoming?
Yeah, I'm not sure necessarily, to be able to answer that. I just love that we're going to be able to showcase so fully the talent in the league and international talent as well. And so I think that's kind of cool to, this league is deep with really good players. Every time you play a game, on the other side, you've got just such quality players. And so I think it's good for USA basketball because a lot of those players that are going to be on the other side in the All-Star might be a part of this next cycle. So I think it's good all around. How do we capitalize on it? We've been talking about that for years. How can we capitalize on, the way that soccer did? We know there's some layered issues there as far as who's playing the sport demographically. How can we capitalize on it? I think just like we have like in things like free agency, media coverage is going to be everything. And I think we got to make sure we blow it out and make sure, as best we can, all the outlets, including the big national outlets, pressure them. We should be on TV shows, night shows and all of that stuff and showcasing, the broad level of talent. That's what's going to determine success, right? Media, and that helps create the eyes on. And then maybe we can get where we're trying to go with this thing.
Brilliant. And to follow up, between Team WNBA and even the 3-point shooting contest, there are a lot of new faces. Opposed players in the 3-point shooting contest. So what do the new faces say, about the growth of the league and the changes that we've seen on the court in women's basketball in the past few years?
Yeah, let's face it, the new faces don't happen in a normal all-star situation, probably.
Right.
But I do think, again, it's good because that's who's next. That's who's going to be part of this next, maybe next all-star game. There's a lot of good young talent in this league that's emerging. And yeah, I think it's, it's pretty incredible. I think most markets have somebody you can really showcase and take advantage of. And I mentioned this to Kathy when we were in the bubble with regard to just playoffs. As best we can, we've got to showcase, single elimination games don't necessarily do this justice. Having a series and creating storylines and identifying with all the teams, not just the top 2 teams, that's what's going to be best for our league. Because we do all the way, look at, the even teams that don't make the playoff have good young talent. But the 8th place team, I think last year was Dallas, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was Dallas, or maybe I have that wrong. But just the young talent that it's one and done. It doesn't do anything for us. I know there's some sort of excitement about the one and done, but in the long run, that's not capitalizing on showcasing the young talent.
Well, thank you very much, Coach Reeve. I appreciate it. What you just said, that's for a story for Bleacher Report. So the bigger outlets it's starting to move. So
good. Let's keep doing it. Absolutely.
Have a good evening, Coach.
Thanks, you too.
All right, we'll go Doug, then Jack, then Danny. Doug, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl, good to see you.
Hi, Doug.
So you guys, 7 straight wins. You can't control there's a break now. You can get healthy and get some rest, but there's part of you go, wow, I wish we could keep on going because things are clicking and like we're on a roll and who knows what's going to happen a month from now?
Not at all. I was asked that the other day. Not at all do I wish that. This has taken a lot out of us, and we need a break. I think the way that the season started for us and the sense of urgency that came, we expended a lot of energy to get to this place. And if you're a good team now, you're going to be a good team on the other side of the break. Whether you keep the streak going, I don't know, but you're still going to be a good team. So I don't subscribe to that.
Okay. And was it good to get to the foul line tonight, at least again, since it was a game that you hadn't been there?
Yeah. It would, but still somehow we fouled more than they did. So like I said, we gotta, we gotta learn about fouling while I'm over in Tokyo, I guess.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you in Vegas next week.
Oh, it sounds good, Doug.
Jack, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl, just how would you describe the balance that your team has played with over the last 7 games, and what do you think has spurred that?
Well, I think, we lacked the balance early on, and it surprised us because the team that we had in the bubble was very balanced, and a lot of those same players were playing for this team. So it was surprising early on that we just had some players that, were really good in the bubble and maybe a little above their average, but even if they performed average, we'd still be pretty good, that were well below their average performances that we'd grown accustomed to. So we were missing that. And so now I think as we kind of, built this thing back up, when it was going rough, we had to narrow things down and really lock in on a starting 5 and an identity. And you don't worry as much about, what was happening on the bench. And now we've gotten to a place where we've got the identity of the starting 5. And now, that second group is starting to find their stride or supporting cast, whether it's Dantas, Bridget Carlton, who we've counted on heavily in the bubble. And so far this season, both Dantas and Bridget, we're looking to continue to evolve because I think that makes our team so much better. Rachel Bannum, Crystal Dangerfield, who was a starter, had to kind of go through, an adjustment period of not starting for our team and finding, what is her identity coming off the bench. So, that's what this, the tough start, as we evolved and gotten further away from that, we've gotten to this place where I do think we've got capable players and most nights we can bring some balance to what we're doing.
And then you mentioned Damiris Dantas is one player that struggled a little bit early on and has really come on strong. Between Dee Dee, Jess, and Bridget, how would you describe the way that they've come on over the last month of the season here?
Well, those are players that wanted nothing more than to help our team. And when it wasn't happening, you can imagine what it feels like. So for them, just working away at it, continuing to stay focused and work. If, shots aren't falling, you have to shoot through it, meaning get in the gym and just shoot. They both believe in themselves tremendously. Obviously we believe in them. You just got to stick with them. You just got to work through it. And that's what they did. And I think with Jess, we fully expected that was going to be a process with her as she returned, from 2 years basically off. And now I think Jess is hitting her stride, and we're finding ways to use her in the game that's benefiting Sil for easy baskets, Fee for easy baskets, for our team, easy baskets when she gets offensive rebounds and gets us another chance. Those 3 have just, it's been coming. You could feel it. It was coming. And you knew their time was going to come. They're too good for it not to come. And it's going to be important for us when we get to the other side because you have to have depth to be able to have a special season.
Thanks, Coach. Safe travels and best of luck in Tokyo.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, we have time for one more. Last one goes to Danny.
Hey, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could talk a bit about the physicality that we saw from your team today, especially from Fee. Yeah.
Were we physical? I always liked that, the objectivity of that. You thought we were physical?
I thought that Fee in particular did a really good job of drawing contact in the paint and using it to create for herself and others. Yeah.
Well, you did notice she drew contact.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many times did she get fouled? She shot 5 free throws. Fee was pretty motivated this game. Fee was pretty motivated. I think LA has a way of sort of, you have a choice when you play LA. The way that they play, the physicality, the embellishment of different things, it can really get to you. referees fall for a lot. And that it can really get to you. And Fee, you have a choice now, you handle it. And Fee handled it exactly as I hoped she would, which is she responded with her own physicality and saying, okay, you want to play me that close? You want to do that? Then this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do tonight. And, Fee is terrific when she gets those spots on the floor she got to tonight. And I appreciated that she took a couple of threes as well. Because that's the next thing that's coming. When we get back from Tokyo, you can expect, and she really did it. She did it in the Vegas game as well. That 3 ball's coming back.
All right, guys.
All right, thank you,
Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody. I have Fee with me. We'll start with questions from Kent. And if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Kent, go ahead.
Hey, Fee, nice game. Coach was saying that the way they play defense and the pressure they put on the guards, you're going to have the ball in your hand a lot tonight, and we're going to be making decisions. Seem to make all the right decisions and play with an aggression that I think really served you tonight. Can you just talk about your motivation entering this game and how you were able to kind of put it all together?
Yeah, I think we came in knowing that they were going to be really aggressive. And I wanted to take that opportunity to use it against them, because if they're press up on us, then it's easier to go by them or to get a back door or to create offense that way. So really just keeping that in mind and making sure that I was ready for it.
How about the end of the third quarter? They had kind of made it a little closer. I think it was an 8-point game, and you finished the third quarter strong. You were kind of right in the middle of that. What was the key to kind of retaking control of that game?
I think slowing down, during the games, everyone's going to have their runs, and they had their run in the beginning of the third quarter, and they're really aggressive. They're really aggressive defensively. So kind of just having us settle in and, saying that, okay, that was their time. Now it's our time. We have to get through our plays, get open, do what we need to do to execute and finish strong.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go Jack, then Danny. Jack, go ahead.
Hey, Fee. So you looked extremely comfortable in the post tonight, no matter how the Sparks played you. Just how would you describe the evolution of your game down there over the course of your career, and kind of what do you think the next step that you want to improve down there is?
I think just slowing myself down. Sometimes I get sped up, and I really have to be cognizant that people are coming. So to be patient and to get to my moves to get to where I want to go. And, in the future, I just hope to, keep honing my craft, being able to do multiple different moves, making sure that they're not going to read what I want to do.
And then Jess, Dee, and Bridget have all given great minutes in the front court on this winning streak. Just what have you enjoyed as a teammate most about the way they've played of late?
Yeah, they're all so fun to play with. Just total team players, and when they're open, they hit shots, and that's exactly what we need. And they're creating for other people, so we need them to do exactly what they're doing, and it's so fun to watch when they do.
Okay, we'll go Danny, then Jackie. Danny, go ahead.
Hey, Fee, congrats on the win. Kind of building off of Jack's first question, what do you think did work for you in the post tonight and kind of allowed you to, have your success both scoring and making plays out of there?
Well, apparently I was really strong tonight. A lot of people were falling down, so I guess being aggressive that way. And then again, just taking my time. Like I said, I feel like, sometimes, last game I got kind of sped up. And so really just, seeing what's open, making sure that I'm not rushing myself.
And then I was also wondering, going into All-Star break and preparing to go to Tokyo, Team USA, what's the biggest thing you're hoping to kind of learn and glean from being around all that veteran talent?
You can always learn something. So from the guards, I hope to learn, what they do to get open or how they're guarding. Going to the 3 position was different than when I did in college. So any tips and tricks they have there. And then obviously just their wisdom. They're all amazing. Most of them are going to be Hall of Fame players. So to learn as much as I can and kind of just be a sponge. And whenever they talk, I'm all ears.
Thanks, Fee.
Okay, we'll go Jackie, then Leo. Jackie, go ahead.
Thanks. Hey, Fee, this is Jackie Powell with Bleacher Report. So I wanted to build off of Danny's question a little bit to transition into All-Star and Tokyo. I'm curious if you could speak on how the All-Star game, the meaning of it, that it means a little bit more for players this year. How is that better for the W?
It means more for players this year.
I guess in the fact that there's a little bit of extra juice for Team WNBA to try to challenge you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good game. I think usually All-Star is just like, it's fun. You're there to have fun, and sometimes you're like messing around, maybe doing things you wouldn't do, but I'm sure it's going to be a good game. It's again WNBA players going up against each other, so it's going to be really like the best of the best, All-Stars and Team USA. So I think it'll be a fun game.
And so now that you're full speed ahead thinking about All-Star, what's going to be the key to preparing for Team WNBA? As I said before, this is a team that has a lot of motivation to go out and beat Team USA.
Not taking anything for granted, even though it's, the Olympic team and it's supposed to be, the best players and they pick the best players. These are still amazing players. They're all-stars, and we have to come locked in and be prepared. Otherwise, they very well could beat us. So I'm sure we're going to do scouting things. It's going to be weird because two teams who haven't played together. So I guess we'll see.
Thanks so much, Fee, and congrats on the win.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for 2 more questions. We'll go Leo, then Kari. Leo, go ahead.
Iffy, so there were a couple times today in the paint that you went at Carly Samuelson a little bit. And so obviously, you're close with Katie Lou from your time at UConn. So was there a little bit of like extra motivation for you to really kind of like go at Carly down there? Or was it just purely business down there?
No, I wasn't going at Carly because it's Carly. It's just anytime I get in the post, obviously I want to be as strong as I can. I love the Samuelson family. I have obviously no vendetta against them. I think it just worked out that way. She was guarding me, and I need to get to what I need to get to when I get into the post. So just playing my game.
Kari, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Fee? You had a great game tonight. You had tied a career high with 27 points. How does games like this bring momentum for the Olympics and also weekend as well?
I think it feels awesome to finish strong just as a team as well. This is our 7th straight win, and going to the break, it gives us a lot of confidence, saying that when we come back, we just need to tweak things or build on what we already have. So it's a great feeling, and I want to continue to bring that to USA, and my role is not going to be the same when I get on that team, but I want to contribute in whatever way that they need me to.
And then lastly, at one point in the game, you had yelled, "I'm strong." Can you just elaborate when you just that type of energy? What does that do for you, the momentum for the team?
I was honestly just being sarcastic because it felt like every time I touched someone, they fell down. So I was like, I must be feeling strong today, eating my protein. So it was kind of just like a sarcastic comment.
All right, thank you.
All right, that'll wrap it up for Fee. Thanks, Fee.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll get this uploaded and over to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Simone. See you in August.
See ya.
Thanks, Simone.
Have a good break.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.